So what is friction force? So let's define friction force first, then we can understand it with examples. So friction force is when one object slides on the surface of other object, then slides surface of other object, or one surface slides on other surface, you can simply write it like this. Then the surface which is in rest will offer an opposition motion, and this opposition is called friction. Friction force. Let's understand each part one by one. Okay, let us assume that we have one surface like okay, suppose this we have one surface like this. Okay, we have one surface like this, and there is another surface like this. So when one surface is sliding on other surface, like suppose the red one is going to slide on on blue surface, then like you can see we have one surface in motion, state of motion, and other is in stationary state or rest state. So the one which is in rest state will offer some opposition against the direction of motion. Suppose the red one is going in this direction, then what will happen? Actually the blue one will offer a friction so that the red one can't slide on it like this. So when we will slide the red one on it, then it would be something like this. And this opposition is actually due to these up and downs of blue one, so we call it as a friction force. When okay, so simply friction force is always opposite to the direction of motion of the object. Suppose the red one is going in this direction, then the friction would be something like as it is drawn. If the object is sliding in this direction, then these frictional elements will tend in opposite direction like this. Oh, it's not going to change its direction. Okay, let me draw it again. So its direction will shift like this, its direction will shift like this. So it would always be opposite to the direction of motion. So the when object would be in this direction, the friction will have, again the direction of friction would be opposite to the direction of motion. So friction is actually when one surface slides on other surface, then the surface which is in rest state or stationary state will resist the motion of sliding surface. That is called friction force. So you can, like, similarly when we are driving a car, on a road is a stationary surface and the car is a sliding surface. So road will offer a resistive force opposite to the direction of motion. That is called friction force. So so the friction have both positive and negative impacts. Okay, so effects of friction. So the effects of friction have both positive effects and negative effects. So we have positive and negative effects of friction. So friction can have positive effects as well as negative effects. Okay, so positive effect means like the friction is useful, and negative effect means friction is not useful. So suppose if you are walking on some surface, if there would be no friction, then there would be you can't stop yourself. You would not be able to stop yourself, and on any surface you would start skating on it. It would be like a skating scenario everywhere. People will bump with each other, and like they will bump with walls and like something like that. So that's why friction is very important for the stability of any object. If there would be no friction, there would be no stability, and it would be difficult for a person to stop itself. Similarly, if there would be no friction, then we can't stop our cars. So friction is very important in case of in case of motion. So that's why friction have positive impact. So friction have negative effects as well, like the car engine, like the machines, and some other things, and many other things. Like due to friction, there is a huge amount of loss of energy, and that loss actually and that causes the efficiency of a machine. Like that reduces the efficiency of a machine. So that's why the friction have negative effects as well. So we cannot remove the friction. So like it is impossible to remove the friction, but we can reduce friction. So positivity is very important. So in order to reduce its negative impact, because like the friction cause due to friction there is a huge amount of loss of energy. In order to save the energy, the thing is we need to reduce the negativity of friction. For that, there are lot of options which we can use to decrease the negativity. Suppose we can use lubrication, oil, like you know that uh, like different kind of machines require oil for their proper working, like engine oil, car engine oil, and machine oil. Similarly, lot of other things like ball bearing and polishing a surface will reduce the friction.